Way down in Central America lies the country of El Salvador. This lush tropical nation is smaller than Massachusetts and home to over 6 million people. Its landscape is wondrous, containing mountains, plateaus, and lowland areas connecting to the Pacific Ocean. This Central American country is home to a vibrant culture dating back hundreds of years. Like its neighbors, El Salvador is steeped in a mixture of Spanish and native influence. Despite large cities and modern conveniences, a lot of its citizens still live in the countryside in small farming villages, following traditions passed down through generations. Possibly the best known of these traditions is of its cuisine. Today we are going to be looking at how to make a pupusa. This dish is a popular meal choice throughout the country. It is easy to prepare, cheap to make, and portable. Pupusas are a form of stuffed tortilla and usually filled with meat, cheese, and beans. Pupusas were almost exclusively an El Salvadorian staple until a civil war in the country caused many of its citizens to flee. Those who did not return from the war immigrated to places such as Europe, Australia, and the United States. This single event spread the love of pupusas across the globe, where they are a popular street food in large cities to this day. Pupusas are so influential that the government of El Salvador made it its national food and set aside a holiday to celebrate this unique treat. In this video, we will go over a very traditional method of making and serving pupusas. We will go over how to make a slaw known as curtido, a pork filling known as chicharron, and a twist on refried beans I call double fried beans. Then we will demonstrate how to mold the pupusa and how to cook it. This video will go pretty fast, so if you lose your place, there's a link to the recipe below. First, we will go over the ingredients. Each part of this recipe calls for 2 to 5 ingredients, not including oil and water. Also, all of these ingredients you can find at your local supermarket. Shown here we have the following: carrots, onion, bell pepper, tomato, cabbage, salt, diced pork, refried beans, mozzarella, Oaxaca cheese, oregano, corn masa, and vegetable oil. You will also need some vinegar and water. To begin the slaw, pour 4 cups of water in a pot and bring it to a boil. While the water is heating, combine the cabbage, onion, and carrots in a large bowl. Then pour the boiling water over the vegetables and toss. Let them sit for about 10 minutes, then drain the water. Next, in a small bowl, combine the vinegar, oregano, and salt. Pour over the slaw and toss till evenly coated. Next, transfer the curtido and any leftover liquid in the bowl to an airtight jar or container. Let this sit in the refrigerator for at least 20 minutes to let the cabbage soak in the flavor. On to the chicharron. Start by heating vegetable oil in a large pan over medium-high heat. Add the diced pork and salt. Cook for 15 minutes without disturbing. If the pork is browning too quickly, reduce the heat to medium. Turn the pork over and let cook on the other side for 10 minutes or until crispy and golden brown. Transfer the pork to a food processor and add the tomato, green bell pepper, and onion. Pulse until it forms a thick paste similar in look to tuna salad. The mixture should be moist but dry. Set this aside for now. Time for the double fried beans. Heat 1/4 cup of oil in a large skillet over medium-high heat. Cook the onion for 10 to 12 minutes, tossing occasionally. You want them to be charred on all sides. Also, do not stop cooking when they are just browned. They need to go a little further. The onion will smoke and the oil will pop, so be careful. When this is done, set the pan aside and turn off the burner. We'll come back to this. Now, transfer the onion to a blender. Add the refried beans and puree until smooth. Gradually add 1/4 cup of warm water if the mixture is too thick or the blender is struggling. Then, heat up the onion oil over medium heat. Next, transfer that bean mixture back to the skillet and cook until the mixture is the consistency of the thick Greek yogurt, stirring and scraping the bottom of the pan occasionally. This will take around 5 to 10 minutes or simply cook it until the oil is nearly reduced. Making the dough is the easiest and most essential part of the whole recipe. In a large bowl, mix together the masa harina and salt. Then add water. You're going to find that after you add the water, it's not easy to mix anymore. Use your hands, mix the dough into a clay-like texture. Do this for a few minutes. Now for the best part, preparing your pupusa. Before you begin, fill a small bowl with water and oil and set near your workstation. Wet your fingers with the mixture as you work to keep the dough from sticking to your hands. Additionally, put a damp cloth over the dough to keep the moisture locked in. Now take about a golf ball sized portion of dough and roll it into a ball. Then flatten into an even round shape. Next, fill the pupusa with a little bit of whichever filling you want. In addition to the 2 fillings we made, I've also prepared a bowl with mozzarella Oaxaca cheese mix. To make sure you don't overfill the dough, try to use a teaspoon to half a teaspoon of each item. Next, fold the dough over the filling until it's completely sealed. Then pat out the ball between your hands until flat. If the pupusa cracks, patch it with a little bit of dough and a little oil. Repeat with the remaining ingredients. By following this recipe, you will probably have leftover filling. This is okay since it takes very little time to make the dough. Time for the grand finale. Brush a large pan or griddle with vegetable oil, then turn the burner up to medium heat. Remember that if you use cast iron like I did, that it takes a little bit longer to heat up than a conventional skillet. Next, place 2 to 3 pupusas on the pan and cook for 2 to 4 minutes, or until the bottoms are golden brown. Flip and cook on the other side the same way, and make sure they're nice and warm in the middle. And here it is all together. I added a bit of store-bought salsa on the side for some heat and flavor. These pupusas take a short time to master and are a great meal in a flash. They can keep in the refrigerator for a few days or frozen for about a month. It's a perfect on-the-go snack, light lunch item, or creative dinner entree.